Welcome, everybody, to Friday Night Talkdown. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Zach McGee, along with...
Oliver Norgrove. How are you, Zach?
Doing pretty well, Oliver. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. A little disappointed at the lack of news in the wrestling this week, but I'm doing okay, and yeah, thanks for letting me on again.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to have you on. So, let's just get right into it with some of our limited news. Big news coming from TNA. TNA announced that Impact is going to be moving to Wednesdays now, probably because of the incoming move from WWE SmackDown to Thursdays. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Oliver?
I wasn't surprised at all. I found out last night, actually. I see it on Twitter. It was announced, and not surprised at all. I don't think anybody will be surprised at that news. I mean, obviously, it has to do with WWE attaching SmackDowns to Thursdays, which was obviously a tactical move on their part. TNA now trying to rebound that, and I think they'll have a little more success. They'll get a little higher ratings in doing this, so I can understand why they've done this. Definitely, I mean, I think it was really the smartest move they could possibly have made at this time. So yeah, what were you surprised? Because I definitely wasn't.
Oh no, I wasn't surprised either. I thought maybe they'd actually move to the Friday spot that SmackDown was moving away from, fill in that Friday show. But I guess, Matt Turmoil on Twitter, a little shout out to him, to that podcast. They were saying that a lot of people like to hang out on Friday, so you don't really get that high ratings, and I agree with that. But also, too, I was in a recent Twitter conversation with a fellow follower, and he mentioned that in the States anyway, CBS has bought the rights to Thursday Night Football. So it was interesting because, NFL is just a big ratings juggernaut, right? Like, they're going to dominate the ratings whenever they're on, So... I thought that was...
This one is more about survival for TNA, so any move they can make which can ease the pressure on them and attract in as many viewers as possible, I think it's the right move for them. So on TNA's part, I'm definitely... I mean, you can't deny what they've done. It's probably the right thing in the long run, so definitely not surprised, and it's definitely a good move for them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, and I also like, too, that... Trask mentioned this, that it was we got wrestling every day now. Sunday is a pay-per-view, Monday is Raw, Tuesday is main event, Wednesday is TNA, Thursday is SmackDown, Friday, I'm trying to remember what Friday is, but Saturday is Ring of Honor. So definitely got a bunch of content going every day of the week. So
NXT?
NXT, because I believe they're also going to move NXT to that Friday slot. So
okay,
that's as far as I heard. I'm not too sure, but
I mean, I thought that they would possibly put SmackDown on the network. I don't know why that thought came to my head. I think WWE are pushing NXT, and quite rightfully so, because they brought in a lot of good talent for NXT. Yeah, I was on the rematch report last night. Shout out to him, by the way, great guy. We were talking about the new stars arriving to NXT, so I definitely think WWE are going to try to put some more emphasis on NXT in terms of the slot, the timing slot of the program, and how they produce it over a presentation of NXT. So I definitely think moving NXT to a more prime television spot is a good move, and thankfully that is also what TNA have done. So. Yeah, I mean, from a business perspective, you can definitely understand the switching around that's going on at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and I hope TNA does well, because WWE needs competition badly in order to really, light a fire under their ass, because WWE clearly without competition, they're just not well, yeah, it's not bad, but it could be better.
Exactly. There's nothing motivating WWE to improve or to be as good as they can be. They're just coasting along and in the safe knowledge that whatever they do, they will be the number one company in wrestling, and that's going to be how it is for at least the next decade. I think right now, you have AAA. I think AAA will be slightly boosted by the signing of Del Rio. I mean, we get into that in a little bit. Yep. And also we have GFW, Global Force Wrestling, and a lot of people are behind that, definitely. I mean, Jeff Jarrett will be hoping to really push on now, and if TNA do go under, which I think some people are expecting, then obviously there will be fresh competition for WWE, but still definitely, far away from catching up with them right now.
Absolutely. So hopefully they get themselves back into gear, and I just a little thing before we move on. There's a bunch of people saying about how TNA needs to stop getting WWE talent in order to succeed. I challenge that argument that in the Attitude Era, WWE got a bunch of guys from WCW. Jericho was from WCW. Guerrero, Big Show was from WCW, and that's how they, got even bigger. Now, of course, they had their stars, that are, that they grew themselves, but WWE also took some of WCW stars, and look how successful they were. WCW took a bunch of WWF stars at the time. So, during the NWO era. So, I think...
Yeah, I mean, that's the logical argument to counter that, because honestly, I think if you're TNA management, you want to be hiring WWE guys because they have name value. They have some kind of, they have some kind of stance, and at this point, you can't criticize TNA for hiring WWE talent or ex-WWE talent, because WWE did the same thing to WCW, and that was an ongoing thing throughout the late 90s, mid 90s, and into the 21st century as well. I mean, you talk about Chris Jericho and Booker T, the Big Show. These guys came from WCW, and obviously you had Bret Hart and Hogan and Roddy Piper went the opposite way. So you can't really criticize a company for trying to gain an advantage by leeching or trying to steal from another company. If the opportunity comes about, then it's I hate to use the cliche, but it is what's best for business at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And also, too, with TNA, a bunch of their guys, like Ethan Carter III was from WWE, and Bram was from WWE. He was part of the Ascension, I believe, before, the new Ascension.
I didn't know that Ethan Carter was from WWE. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was in WWE. That's how they found him,
Oh, right. Okay.
I think he was the guy who got released from... he was released because I think he had some sort of bust... got in trouble with a lot. This is just from memory, but he was part of the original Ascension, I believe, and then I
didn't know he was in WWE originally, but
yeah.
If that is true, if that is why they busted him, then in that case they should have also busted Bray Wyatt, Bo Dallas, Jack Swagger. Yeah. I mean the list goes on. So.
And Bram's a good talent. I really like Bram. I think Bram has a bunch of potential to be really good in TNA, and so does Ethan Carter III. And, Lashley's a WWE talent, and he's their champion, and Lashley is, in my opinion, a very good champion. And
he's a great athlete, and he's very intense, but he has no personality whatsoever. Yeah. Bobby Lashley there's nothing entertaining about him. There's no charisma on him at all. Mm-hmm. And Bobby Lashley, for TNA standards, he's a decent champion. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him being the champion at this point. In terms of his all-round quality, I don't see him being entertaining. I don't see a personality on him. Lashley was in WWE for a year and a half, mm-hmm. And he did okay, but I'm not sure why he left in the end. I can't remember why. That was quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
How often do you watch TNA?
Not every week. I have watched a bit of the New York shows recently, but I know what's going on currently with storylines and all that. But Tajiri. Tajiri. He's really, really good. Probably because, he's from that Japanese wrestling background, And
Yeah, I was okay with Tajiri in WWE. I mean, he wasn't the best thing going, but yeah, I think he did. I think he did pretty well. And I mean, I'm not sure how old he is now. He's got to be about 38, 39 years old.
Yeah, he's older.
But for TNA, it's not a bad acquisition. Definitely not. No.
No, definitely not. So definitely some interesting stuff. But yeah, it was just my argument because I'm kind of sick of seeing those people saying, that TNA needs to stop leeching off of WWE talent.
No,
I think TNA should go after some of the recently released NXT guys, especially Sean Diamond or something, whatever. Because I saw his stuff. He was really good. So
I see that a lot of that as well on Twitter. But there really is nothing wrong with it because these people that tweeting this, if they were working for these companies, they would consider the exact same thing themselves. So I mean, you can't really. That's the argument to it. I mean, you can't really criticize companies. Like I said, it's been done so many times. It's almost normal. It's almost normal in wrestling. So it is normal in wrestling. So yeah, it happens a lot. And so hopefully for TNA, this is some kind of turning point. I don't think it will be, but I mean, you never know going forward.
Yeah. Before we move on, there's a tweet here from Callan Hasness. Why would you talk about Lashley? He's the guy who said that Evolution is copying his stable. That's true, but I do like Lashley as a champion. I think right now Lashley as a champion, he's doing much better than Eric Young. I didn't think Eric Young was that bad of a champion as people kind of make him out to be, but he was not as good as I think Lashley has done because Lashley has embraced his heel persona in his current stable with Kenny King and Montel Vontavious Porter or MVP. So,
Ethan Carter and Bobby Lashley are very, very different. I mean, with Ethan Carter, it was more the feel-good story. It was like there was a lot of criticism for copying the whole Daniel Bryan surge up, that we got in WWE, and the Ethan Carter scenario was apparently very similar. I mean, I'm not an expert. I didn't watch it all, so I can't necessarily comment completely. However, I do think Ethan Carter and Bobby Lashley are very, very different. Which of the two is better? I mean, I'll leave that to you. You watch more than I do. Who do you think is better?
Between Eric Young and Lashley?
Yeah. Better for TNA.
Yeah. I mean, wrestling-wise, Eric Young, but in terms of an actual, good champion, it has to be Lashley, so it's hard to say, because I do like Eric Young a lot, but I'm gonna say Lashley because I think he's a better all-around talent, because Lashley can wrestle as well, so...
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, he was an amateur wrestler, wasn't he, in high school, so... Yeah. He was also in the army, I believe, so... He has the credentials, but for me, doesn't have a personality, and you need that in wrestling. But this isn't WWE. This is TNA. The bar is lower. So yeah, at this point, I think Lashley is the right man for TNA. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you. So we'll move on now, and we were talking NXT a bit earlier. Kevin Steen officially signed with WWE this week. I personally think this is an awesome signing for WWE. It was pretty much suspected that he had signed the way that Steen was talking in the recent Ring of Honor shows. But it's now officially confirmed, and I'm very excited to see Steen come into WWE. What are your thoughts, Oliver?
Well, it's Kevin Steen is 30 years old, and it's surprising that he's only 30 because he's been around for quite a few years now, and people have been a fan of his work. He's been a name in wrestling for quite a few years, and the signing to WWE is good for both parties. Obviously, NXT will need someone like him. We all know. I mean, Kevin Steen is famous for his moveset, his arsenal, isn't it? Definitely. And I mean, if anybody listening, if you haven't already seen it, I would recommend you go on YouTube and look for the top 95, top 100 moves of Kevin Steen. If you haven't watched that video, you should. It's a great video.
Yeah.
And some of the moves he comes up with in wrestling are so creative, and I can almost guarantee that half of them will be banned by WWE on safety ground.
Yeah.
Especially when working with important talent.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy has huge talent. I do worry though that with the pressure that he's under, with the expectations on his shoulders, will he be able to succeed? Will he be able to flourish in WWE? I hope so. It's not guaranteed he will just because he's good. But yeah, I definitely hope so. And it's a huge signing for NXT because NXT is improving all the time, and when you bring in people like this, it's only going to get better and better. So yeah, I'm happy with the signing of Kevin Steen, but for me, really, he needs to be brought up to the main roster as soon as possible so that we can properly judge him.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what his finisher move is going to be, because there's no way they're going to let him use the package pile driver. I mean, they've essentially banned the pile driver. There's no way they're going to let him do the package pile driver.
No! I mean, he's about 30 of his moves will be banned. Yeah. That's why so many people liked him on the independent scene. As I say in the video on YouTube, some of his moves are crazy. I mean, crazy dangerous. I think a lot of them are, and he's so athletic, and his arsenal and his moveset is so varied that you never really know what you're going to get from him. But in WWE, I think his moveset will be diluted somewhat. It definitely will be diluted on safety grounds, like I said. But to be honest with you, I'm more worried about what they're going to do with his character, because I heard that WWE are planning to team him up with Prince Devitt. Did you hear this?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I don't know what they're supposed to be doing, but I imagine it will be some kind of faction or tag team. So whether they add someone else to it as well, maybe Sami Zayn or a Tyler Breeze type figure. But yeah, definitely excited, a little bit cautious at the same time with Kevin Steen, definitely. Yeah,
I was thinking more Kenta, honestly, if they were going to do a faction. I was thinking Kenta have the 3 new guys come in and be a faction, and that'd be interesting to see what they could do with that faction.
Yeah, I mean, Kenta's being Japanese. Kenta is the odd one out there. I mean, that's not me picking on him. That's just the truth. He's the odd one out of the 3. So I don't whether or not he'll be part of that. I'm not sure. It all comes down to presentation, and sometimes when things appear good on NXT and have loads of potential, like the Wyatt family, sometimes they transcend into the main roster, and they transcend really successfully, as I said, like the Wyatt family. And sometimes things, when they come to Raw, or when they come to the main stage, they flop completely. Like Adam Rose, and who, by the way, shouldn't have a job. But anyway, oh my God, how bad is he? But yeah, Kenta and Steen and Devitt are great signings for NXT, especially Devitt, and Steen. So I'm looking forward to what WWE do with them. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm very much looking forward to what Steen's going to do, because I think of the 3, probably Steen has a better chance to be successful, in my opinion, because he's a bigger guy. He has better mic skills than the other guys. Devitt will be interesting to see. From what I've seen, they are going to let him use the face paint in WWE, so that'll be awesome to see.
Okay, I haven't seen his face paint. What is it? What's it like?
Oh, they haven't shown the face paint yet, but I saw an interview with Renee Young, and she essentially asked, "Are we going to see face paint?" And he said yes. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's always good to look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm just a little worried with regards to Kevin Steen coming up. Him and Devitt, they both have good looks. But I think, as I said on the rematch report last night, with Kevin Steen, I think he's either going to do really well or he's going to flop completely. I don't think there's, because when I think of Kevin Steen, when he spent so many years completely dominating and lighting up the independent scene, that I really think it's either main event or nothing for him in WWE. And I was saying a little bit similar to the with Kenta, similar to the Sin Cara situation. He came in with so much hype, and people were really, really praising his ability. And when he came into WWE, I mean, he did okay in his first few months, but after that, people saw through him, and his camouflage was taken away, and his weaknesses were exposed. So, I mean, I'm hoping that doesn't happen with these three. But Kevin Steen is the one I'm the most looking forward to seeing in WWE.
Yeah, me too. Me too, definitely. Because as you said, it's main event or bust for him, which I also agree with. Because I think Steen's got it all. He's got the wrestling ability. He's got the mic skills. He's been a top guy in the independent scenes. So it is main event or bust for him because he's a big guy.
Can you picture Kevin Steen as a mid-carder? Because I can't.
No, I cannot. I cannot at all.
And also, talking of face paint, when are we ever going to see Sting?
When are we ever going to see Sting? Yeah. To be honest, I don't want to see Sting. To be honest.
You don't want to?
No, because
yeah.
He's 55. He's a 55-year-old man.
I get that. I get his age, but he's the last icon. He's the only guy left in wrestling, big star who hasn't appeared for WWE. So at some point he will and will have to. But so I don't think there's a. I think people will want to see him. I don't think. Yeah. Obviously, he doesn't have the value that he had years ago, but just for the purpose of being able to sit here and say, oh yeah, I saw Sting when he debuted in WWE. I think it's just a nice a neat little thing to be able to see. So I don't care hugely about Sting either, but I just want him to come in and do something. There's no point in him hanging around on the outside and just I don't like the constant speculation on Sting. Yeah. So I just want him to come in and do something, and whatever it is, whether it's good or bad, at least we can all say that we saw Sting in WWE after 30 years or however many years he started wrestling ago. So yeah.
But honestly, I want him to remain the guy who's the only guy really from WCW that hasn't gone over to WWE, because that adds the mystique of Sting. That's just me personally. But and also too, I don't want to see Sting versus Undertaker now. If this was like 10 years ago, yes, I would love to see that match. But Undertaker's 50 now, I believe, and Sting is 55. I don't want to see those two guys taking up a main event spot when there's young up and comers coming in, getting ready to take over
sure.
The main event scene.
It's one of those dream matches that people have been talking about for years, and I think there are only truly four dream matches left in wrestling. I think you have Undertaker Sting, you have Hulk Hogan versus John Cena, Steve Austin versus CM Punk, and The Rock versus Shawn Michaels. And obviously, I would say two or three of them definitely won't be happening anytime soon. Yeah. But Undertaker Sting seems most likely at this point. And I agree with you in terms of the match. It's not going to be a great match. I mean, we all know that. They're both, Undertaker is 50 soon and Sting 54, 55. So it isn't going to be it's not going to be a Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Iron Man match for sure. Definitely not. But just for the purpose of being able to see it and just to be able to say that you witnessed that dream match, I think it would be good, and don't be surprised if we do see it at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah. Just Daniel Redden, don't worry, we'll get your question answered. We're just going to get through these news here, and then don't worry, we will get your question answered. And speaking of questions too, if you have any questions, try and get your questions in before we get the show ended. We're going to be going through some of the news, so tweet me at RozGibby with the hashtag AskGibby. Don't worry, I will answer your questions, so will Oliver. We'll bring our opinions in on it, don't worry. So we'll move on to the next big bit of news. Kurt Angle has reportedly been essentially trying to reach WWE on a deal so that he could come back to them. That pretty interesting stuff. Apparently, Angle wants to do a contract similar to how Shawn Michaels had his contract when he was finishing up. What do you think of the possibility of Angle returning to WWE?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in it because Kurt Angle is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. He was one of my favorites when I was younger. So, and you know, don't get me wrong, I know the crap and the things he's done in the last few years that have tarnished him. You know, arrests and drugs and you know the domestic abuse, DUIs and stuff like that. I know he's gotten into a lot of trouble. But I just think it's one of those nostalgia acts. It's like having Chris Jericho return, having Kurt Angle return is definitely interesting. It's worth seeing. I mean, when Kurt Angle was in WWE, everybody loved Kurt Angle. Well, not loved, but everybody at least respected Kurt Angle. He was over, and you know, and fans wanted to see him. Fans did turn up to arenas to see Kurt Angle at times. So he, you know, it's not like nobody cared about him. Yeah. And I would like to see him come back. The only problem is that it's difficult picking an opponent or a feud for him, because if he does come back, it will be for a big payoff. It will be for a WrestleMania, maybe a WrestleMania 31 or something. I don't know. Yeah. So if he is at WrestleMania 31 or whatever, I mean, in your opinion, who would you, if you were the booker, who would you have him come back to feud with?
Daniel Bryan, in a heartbeat. I'd have him face Daniel Bryan in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that is a dream match.
Yeah,
that is a dream match. I haven't seen a lot of Kurt Angle's work in TNA, so I don't know if his matches are still any good. Are they still at that level, or has he dropped somewhat?
Kurt Angle is a main event level. Oh, I think he's still in the main event level in terms of his ability. I don't think there's really any doubting that he can be in the main event, but I think it's really people are questioning the ability if he could still go, because you know his back has really deteriorated over the past couple of years, and DUIs, as you said, and all that. So, because I've heard stuff that if he was to do a physical in WWE right now, he would not pass, making him, you know, unable to compete in a WWE ring. So, who knows? I think because I've heard Vince McMahon doesn't want him back, which is interesting to me. Probably because the way he left WWE. I think Vince McMahon will just cave in. I bet you Triple H is buddies with Kurt Angle, so I think we will see him back and he'll get that contract.
Kurt Angle will be back. I mean, even if he's not what he was, fans will still want to see him again, even if it's only for a couple of months. It's just like, as I said, it's just like when Jericho returns or when Undertaker returns. You watch because of the name. You watch because it's or a nostalgia thing. You just want to see somebody come back, and that's why I think I don't care what Vince is saying or what sites are reporting about Vince at the moment. Yeah. I just think that he will be back. I think he'll be back in 2015. Personally, Kurt Angle. Expect it to happen because his contract runs out in a few months. So I would say he will be back, and I agree with you. I think Triple H will be the man to bring him back in. Sure.
Yeah, I think Angle's gonna come back. He's gonna face Daniel Bryan, and he'll face him in a neck surgery match. So,
match.
Yeah, stretcher match. That'd be interesting to see at WrestleMania 31.
That would be, it would be submission, in all seriousness.
Yeah. But, submission match. It has to be,
Yeah. That would be a very good stipulation to have to Kurt Angle and Daniel Bryan. Loser doesn't ever get neck surgery. Which would be,
That'd be very
interesting. Cool stipulation to have, but I think it would be a submission match, and I would definitely look forward to watching that.
Oh, I would be ecstatic to see that match. So, yeah. If not, maybe if Swagger was built up, maybe a battle of the real Americans. So I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, that could be interesting if Swagger's push, better. But I doubt they'll do that.
As long as he isn't released at that point.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully they keep it going and he's still here. But you never know what's going to happen with Swagger, and you never know what's going to happen with Kurt Angle either. So we just have to wait and see.
So move on here. We were speaking of Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan recently said in an interview, still doesn't know when he's going to be coming back from this neck surgery. When do you think he'll be back?
I think he'll be back about December.
December?
I think December, turn of the year. I'm thinking around December, January. I can't see him winning the Royal Rumble. I don't think he needs, at this point, I don't think he needs to win the Royal Rumble because he's already a huge star. And honestly, I would say Daniel Bryan's return is something I am really looking forward to because I think I miss him personally because the more we have Cena as champion, the more I miss him definitely. And when do you think he's returning?
Oh, I think he's going to return at the Royal Rumble, to be honest. I don't think he'll win. I think it'll be one of those surprise entrances where he comes back. He may, now that I think about, in terms of a wrestling return, probably Royal Rumble, but maybe an in-person return, maybe during this storyline going on right now between Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella. Maybe clear his name in this stupid storyline that they have right now. Makes no sense to me.
The most unnecessary segment in 2014 so far.
Absolutely. And going a bit off topic here, but I've said before, it doesn't make any sense. This sort of angle only works as the beginning of a storyline, and it's the only logical sense to really, if you're going to try and make this storyline work as much as possible, is to start it at the end, or start at the beginning.
Even if you do start it, it has to be done in a logical format because you can't have it involve with Daniel Bryan because it's not believable for him to do that. If you have it with somebody like Kurt Angle or Batista or Ric Flair in his prime,
or Edge,
people who you would actually believe would cheat on their wives, not Daniel Bryan, because it's not even as I say, it's not even remotely credible whatsoever. So that's why the segment was awful and was the most unnecessary thing in this year so far, I would say.
Absolutely, and a waste of Megan Miller's talents,
Oh my God! I don't think she'll be up for an Oscar anytime soon.
Yeah, no. Oh, that was so bad acting. If you're gonna have someone play a physical therapist, at least have them act, for the love of God. Oh man,
just nothing positive to say about that. Although I am still looking forward to the match, I have to say.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably gonna end up that Stephanie paid her or something,
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
it makes it's the only logical sense. It's the only logical sense to end the storyline. So,
yeah. Who do you think is going to win at SummerSlam?
I don't know. I think it's one of those matches you don't really know who's going to win. So
yeah, it's either
which is rare.
It's either Brie winning with storyline closure, or it's going to be Triple H helping Stephanie. I think they're the only two. People have been suggesting a Nikki Bella heel turn, but what's the point? Okay, at least it would be something surprising, but
it would make sense because she's been beaten down by 4 divas at one point every week.
Yeah,
so.
Actually, that's a good point. I just realised that is one of the routes they could go down. I'm expecting Brie Bella to win, but I wouldn't also be surprised. It's one of those I wouldn't be surprised either way. So I wouldn't put money on Brie, but my prediction is Brie.
Yeah, I'm leaning on Brie Bella here to win the match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie won because of the special guest referee thing with Triple H. As far as I know, that he's the special guest referee, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Did you want to get into SummerSlam predictions quickly after the news?
Well, we got to get the Twitter questions out of the way. Maybe I'll have a separate video coming up soon. I'll think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll think about it. But yeah. Any final thoughts on this? The Daniel Bryan thing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to his return, and I think my guess in terms of the time frame, because there's so much uncertainty going around regarding his return, that it's so difficult to put any kind of estimation on when he's returning. However, if you were to make me guess, I would say probably probably January 2015, I would say, is probably when he's going to be returning. Which to me isn't soon enough, but at the end of the day, it's his neck, so I can't. I mean, he's not going to be doing a Kurt Angle or a John Cena here and recovering in 36 seconds. I mean, it's not going to be one of those. So this is a normal person recovery, and so yeah. I mean, I feel bad for him that he's out, but it is what it is. And when do you think he's returning?
I think I said that before. I think I said he was coming around Royal Rumble.
Yeah, Royal Rumble. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I don't think they'll have him win it. But I mean,
not gonna have him win it.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's gonna be Reigns that's gonna win it.
Probably, yeah, it makes sense. Because if he's to challenge Lesnar for the title, if he does have the title at that point, then that is a move that does make sense to elevate him. But yeah, honestly, for me, dream at WrestleMania 31 would be Lesnar, Reigns, and Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan. That would be, if that happens, that would be great. If it doesn't, then then it doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, we can't affect storylines. So, unfortunately, with the whole Steph Bree thing from Monday.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who Cena would face at WrestleMania.
Well, I said to you last week that I thought it would be Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And that seems. I mean, there may be people listening to that and they think, well, no, because Hulk Hogan's old and he won't get back in the ring. But with the ego that Hulk Hogan has, and trust me, his ego is bigger than the ego of probably anyone else in wrestling history. He will try and get back in that ring, and he is training at the moment. That's fact. He's revealed that he's training for his in-ring return, and so I don't want to see Hogan versus Cena at all. I don't think many people do, because it appeals to absolutely nobody. The kids that like Cena don't know who Hogan is and don't care about him, and the old school wrestling fans who may like Hogan will not want to see Hogan and Cena because they know it will be an awful match.
Yeah.
So it doesn't appeal to anybody, and so that's my prediction for Cena WrestleMania 31. However far-fetched it may seem, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. So move on here. Talk about Del Rio. Del Rio is going to make an appearance at he's going to make his appearance at AAA and going to be debuting under the new name of El Patron, also known as the Boss in Spanish. That's an interesting way to date. Yeah, and it's interesting too because they were saying that Mysterio was contemplating coming over and joining AAA, but I think he's under contract, so I don't think that'll happen. So
I think he might get released from his contract, Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be around wrestling anymore. He doesn't need to be wrestling. I think if his body had its way, it would tell Rey Mysterio to just stop wrestling completely. You know, Rey Mysterio's, I mean, he's just made of glass. So, at this point, the only thing I'm surprised about here is the speed at which Del Rio is already back with another promotion.
Yeah.
Because I thought that because he had a 90-day no compete clause, so he won't be wrestling for at least another 2 months or something.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's gone there so quickly. And but honestly, if it's Mexico, I can see why he's done that. He's going to be back home again, which is just obviously understandable. And I mean, what do you think about it?
Sorry, I timed out there. Could you just ask me again? Sorry.
I'm sorry, I asked you. I just wondered what you thought of the move.
I think it's interesting move. I don't think he's wrestling there because I think it's just going to be an appearance there. Because I don't think he's wrestling there. Unless he's really, really mad at the company and he's just like, screw it, I'm going to wrestle for AAA no matter what your 90-day clause says. But that's going to get him into some legal trouble, so I doubt he'll do that.
Oh, no. I mean, I listened to his press conference earlier on at AAA, and he was saying that he doesn't, he didn't mention WWE at all, really. He was just looking forward to the future, which makes me think that he is looking to get back into the ring. I'm surprised at that. I thought he would retire. I mean, good luck to him. WWE don't need Del Rio anymore, definitely not. So, and with regards to Rey Mysterio going there, I want Rey Mysterio to retire and go into the Hall of Fame. I don't think people really need to see Rey Mysterio anymore.
Me neither.
And so I would say my prediction for Mysterio is that he will go there. I don't think he should, but I think he will. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, and honestly too, I don't think, because I think Mysterio is really mad at the company right now because I think he wants to leave because there's really not much for him to do. So I wouldn't be surprised either. But I believe Del Rio said in his press conference that he doesn't know anything about the Mysterio situation.
Yeah. I mean, Mysterio is 40 now, so he can just retire. He has the money. He's set for life financially.
Really old for a luchador. Really old for a luchador.
Exactly. I mean, for that style, that style is tailored to younger talent because it's so high risk and harder on the body. So I don't think Mysterio should do it. But then again, it's up to him. So he might. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. So move on. Final bit of news here. WWE 2K15 new gameplay release. What are your thoughts on the new gameplay?
I didn't actually see it, so you'll have to lead this one.
All right. There's some interesting new leaked gameplay. It looks really, really good.
Does it?
Yeah, check out Smack Talks. Sorry, has that. He has a link to the gameplay in one of his videos. Some good stuff.
Okay.
It's not the highest quality because it's from a video camera, but you can see the graphics like shooting out. But hopefully the gameplay is good, and from what I've seen, it looks all right. Kind of looks the same as 2K14, but a little bit better.
What are you particularly looking forward to on the game?
Career mode. I want to play career mode so badly.
With your own created superstar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never created a superstar and taken them seriously. It was always done as a joke online, so it was never done seriously. But hopefully, if they make it interesting this year, then it will be something I'll try out. Yeah.
Definitely. So move on to questions now. If you have any questions, tweet them to me at RozGibby with the hashtag AskGibby. Answer it every Friday here on Friday Night Talkdown. So we'll get to at Daniel Redden 5's question first. He asks, can WWE challenge TNA? Should WWE challenge TNA? Sorry, in terms of positioning, I think on the schedule where they're recording. What are your thoughts?
Should they challenge TNA?
Yeah.
I think honestly, I think they should, but only to completely kill TNA off. Because you have, I mean, let's break this down for a second. You have Kurt Angle wanting to return. You have Jeff Hardy wanting to return. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy, in terms of name value, are the biggest stars TNA have. And if they want to return to WWE, which they will at some point, they both will come back definitely. TNA have no hope. At this point, I think we're reaching the end of TNA, which will be a very sweet release when that does happen for me, because I can't stand the company, can't stand anyone involved with the company, and I don't like this idea either that to be a wrestling fan you have to like every promotion. That's like being a football fan and liking every team. I mean, that's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous thing to say.
Absolutely.
And I think to answer the question, I think WWE should challenge them. I think they should just aim to try to minimise them as much as possible and just get rid of them, because they failed. I mean, they failed themselves, more importantly. So, definitely, I would say yes as in answer to that question.
Yeah, ouch! Harsh words from Oliver there.
But true.
Yeah, truth hurts, I guess. I think going what Oliver says. Yeah, they should challenge TNA to really, get TNA out of the business if they really feel they're a threat. But from what I've seen, I don't think they will challenge TNA, because I think their mindset is now that their mindset probably now is that they're just an entertainment company now. So they're probably going to try and compete with some of the other, big TV shows in the NFL here in North America. So definitely. It'll be interesting to see if WWE would challenge TNA, but I don't think they really care. In fact, I've heard some stories that Vince McMahon doesn't even know TNA exists. So
I think Vince McMahon thinks WWE is the only wrestling company in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
That would explain a lot of things, by the way, a lot of laziness.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. So
Sorry if I'd like to apologise to the 11 TNA fans listening and around the world. So if I offended any of you, I do apologise.
Yeah, there goes the 58 subscribers right there. There it goes. I can see it now. Oh man. But we'll move on to the next question. This comes from the Mic'd Up podcast. Definitely go check their podcast out. My question is, have you played WWE Supercard?
Oh my god, yeah, I saw that question earlier. I did. I downloaded it yesterday, and I don't get it at all. I don't understand the game at all. I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm gonna have to try and persevere with this game. I tried it. I downloaded it yesterday, and basically, the game for some reason is in French on my phone. I don't know why. None of my phone is set to French, so I need to find out how to try and change the language. So that is so from square one, I'm at a disadvantage with this game because I don't understand it. I can't read French. So I don't know if you can read French. I know you're from Canada. Can you speak French?
Oh, just because I'm from Canada, I immediately know French. God, but no. No, I haven't downloaded the WWE Supercard. It was like just announced, and all of a sudden everybody was talking about it. So I never got really a chance to download it because I've been just working on this podcast and all that. But from what I've heard, it's pretty fun. So you must be like an insane trading card guy to really like it. So
yeah.
Any other thoughts on the Supercard game?
I will be trying. I'll definitely be trying it, retrying it again tonight or tomorrow. As I said, it does look good. It looks very interactive, and I've seen a lot of reviews for it online, and all of them have been positive so far. The only unfortunate circumstance at the moment is that I can't play the game. I don't understand it in French, so I need to figure this out. Yeah. And have to try and change the language. So once I start playing it, I will get back at that guy and I'll let him know what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So go next to two questions here from @Callan Hasnus from Romania. Glad to see that. International. First question: do you think Kane should make one last run as Jacob Goodnight?
We mentioned this last week, didn't we? No, I don't think he should. No, I understand. I understand the intrigue there, though, because it's something completely wacky and different. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be a ploy to promote the movie, and people aren't going to want to see that, especially from Kane. And there really is no point repackaging Kane. He's been in WWE for nearly 20 years. Yeah. So there's no point repackaging him at all. Yeah. As I said on Twitter, I tweeted out I think last week that with the whole rumor behind Kane becoming Jacob Goodnight, it's either going to be really good or really bad, and I'm thinking it's going to be really bad. So I hope they don't do it, just in case it really, really puts the nail in the Kane coffin, and fans just completely don't care about him anymore and every fan wants him to go. Just for that, I don't want WWE to risk it. Yeah.
If you're thinking of repackaging Kane as Jacob Goodnight, it's probably time for Kane to retire, to be honest. Because he's 48. He's older.
47?
47, 48. Like, he's older, and he's a taller guy, too. And he doesn't really have that wrestling ability anymore that he used to. Because, when Kane was younger, he could jump off the top rope and, do stuff, even with the mask on, which was really good. So I always thought he was, an underrated performer. So no, I don't think Kane should make one last run as Jacob Goodnight. For the love of me, please don't give him that gimmick to just promote a movie. That would just disgrace Kane's legacy, really, because he's had the same gimmick for over 10 years, 15 years, 17 years. Jeez, so really no reason to repackage him now. So might as well just end the Kane character and let him retire. So, second question from Callan Hasness. What do you consider as the worst storyline ever?
There's a few.
I'm going to go back to Kane for a second, and it would involve Kane, let's be honest here, because he's been involved in some crap over the
Yeah.
years. And I'm sure everyone is familiar with the Katie Vick storyline. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in wrestling. So to the guy who asked that, if you haven't seen the Katie Vick storyline, please don't. Before you go watch it, don't watch it. It's awful. To fixate a storyline around the idea that Kane has murdered someone. I mean, I know he's Kane here, but I mean, come on. It was awful. It was awful to listen to. And do you agree with that?
Oh yeah. Oh, the Katie Vick storyline. What is there to say about the Katie Vick storyline that hasn't been said already? Like that storyline was so bad. It was so insulting and unfunny and just.
Oh yeah.
It was just so bad.
There was the infamous segment with Triple H wearing the Kane mask and climbing onto the coffin. Did you see it? Oh my! If you haven't seen that, go on YouTube and type in Triple H dresses as Kane. It's so creepy. It's not funny. It's awful to watch, and I really am. As a Kane fan for many years since I was a little boy, I'm personally disgraced and embarrassed about that storyline, and I wish it had never happened. So yeah, it would be that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of storylines. Obviously, Katie Vick. Katie Vick is, in my opinion, the worst storyline, and I think it's unanimous for a lot of people. So just thinking back to some other pretty bad storylines, the one with Lita where she lost her child, that was very much bad in taste. Also involved.
And who did that involve?
Oh man,
Kane. I'm thinking of I didn't like the People Power storyline.
Oh, you didn't? I thought it was fun.
No, John Laurinaitis is a dick. I couldn't stand John Laurinaitis. There was just nothing interesting about him. And obviously his voice sounds like he's been smoking a 10-pack of Mayfair every day for the past 30 years. So he sucks. And I'm just trying to think of some the Gobbledygooker. If you've ever heard of the Gobbledygooker, check out the Gobbledygooker. If you have the network in Romania, go check out the Gobbledygooker. Honestly, one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. And not just in wrestling. Obviously, the whole TNA storyline. That's from 2002 to 2014. All of TNA was a pretty bad storyline. So I would say TNA and K-Vic definitely the worst things that happen in wrestling.
We're now in the negatives for subscribers. We're now in the negatives for subsbers now.
So
negatives.
So TNA actually.
I'm also thinking the Aces and Eights storyline from TNA was also pretty bad. In terms of payoff too.
You mean the Aces and 0.8?
Yeah, and
the Aces and 0.8 was bad. I'm trying to think. I
didn't like the Invasion storyline with WCW in terms of a payoff. It didn't really work out.
You didn't like it? It was. When it first started, a lot of people were behind it, but it fizzled out very quickly.
Well, you realize who was gonna win the match. Essentially,
of course,
it was gonna be WWE.
So predictable. Also, just one's just come to my head. Mae Young giving birth to the giant hand.
Oh God!
I mean, that was. I mean, I like Mark Henry. I've always liked Mark Henry, but that was pretty. That was so unnecessary. Katie Vick, the Mae Young and the giant hand, and TNA would be the worst things to happen in wrestling. Thanks for the question though.
There's been a bunch of storylines. Katie Vick's there, and obviously not the entire TNA storyline, as my buddy Oliver is trying to make out to be. But the Aces and Eights storyline was pretty bad.
The storyline with Kane trying to get John Cena to embrace the hate was also quite bad.
Yeah.
Also pretty hard to listen to, to watch and listen to.
Yeah.
Those are what comes to mind.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. The Shockmaster from WCW. The Shockmaster.
Oh, I didn't see that. Was it bad?
Oh, the Shockmaster. Have you seen that famous entrance of the Shockmaster in WCW?
No.
Oh, you gotta see that. Oh, it's so funny. It's essentially they botched the entrance to the Shockmaster. What was supposed to happen was Harlem Heat was supposed to introduce the Shockmaster, I believe. No, wait, it was Sting. Sting was like, because he's going to be here to make his shocking debut. Here's the Shockmaster, right? And,
oh my God.
And what was supposed to happen was the Shockmaster was supposed to go through a wall, right? And the wall was supposed to break, and there was supposed to be flames coming from the side, right? And he burst through the wall, but he tripped over the piece of the wall.
Oh my God.
And he fell over, and he had his mask on. And the mask, Star Wars, right? The Stormtrooper mask?
Oh, yeah.
It was essentially that, but like with crystals all over it. Like it was like shiny. The mask came off, and it showed the guy's face when he fell down. He got up, he grabbed his mask, he put the mask on. He looked at the guys, and then he pointed to them, both like, yeah, I'm here.
Oh my God.
It was so bad. That debut was so bad, but it's like so funny at the same time. I gotta send you that link, or you can.
Oh, I'll watch that. But is that as embarrassing as the career of Dixie Carter?
Oh, Dixie Carter's career has been pretty embarrassing. Nothing can beat that. So.
Oh yeah, but I'll definitely see that debut. Yeah, I want to see that now.
Yeah. So we'll get to the final question here. I've actually lost the Twitter handle because I don't know why, but it doesn't show when I find this question. So sorry if I can't, if you're watching this right now and I don't say your name, but she was saying, who do you think is the top 5 divas in the world right now? From WWE and TNA.
In the world right now. I think you can put Gail Kim in there.
Oh yeah.
Gail Kim is one of the few lights in the cave of TNA at this point. I think AJ Lee has been pretty good. Can you include Stephanie McMahon in that?
I guess you could, because she does have that impression, but should think AJ Lee possibly, like I said. Awesome
my
Kong.
God.
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong, yeah. What's happened to her, by the way?
I don't know. Like the last I've seen her was in KVEB commentaries. So
okay.
And she did an interview, and it was pretty funny, but I remember she had a miscarriage or something like that when she was away, and so probably something to do with her getting away from the business. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I don't think she's been wrestling for a bit. It'd be interesting to see her come back.
Okay.
But Awesome Kong.
Any others?
Gail Kim, AJ Lee, Paige, Emma if she was utilized better.
Currently, Paige, possibly Paige. I was going to say Stone Cold Alicia Fox when she was Stone Cold Alicia Fox.
Yeah.
She isn't now because that's been killed off. But she was. That was pretty entertaining while it lasted.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think it's hard to pick a fifth. But 3 or 4 of them, write themselves for me. So yeah, I can't think of any more though.
Maybe Jessica Havoc. She was.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, if spoilers possibly, we don't know yet, because I think have you seen those promo videos coming out for this wrestler that's debuting in TNA?
No, I haven't. No.
No, okay. They're essentially what people are believing is this
the debut of Liquidation.
Yeah,
the new wrestler that just signed Liquidation.
Fire sale for all these guys in TNA. Fire sale. No, but it's supposed to be the debut of this top women's wrestler, and I think she's from England. I'm not too sure, but I haven't read too much into it. I've seen.
Oh, well, then of course she's going to be really good then if she's from England.
Yeah, of course, right? She's from England. She has to be good, so.
Well, no bias there at all.
Yeah, no bias. No, of course not. I mean, we all know that Wade Barrett should be Wade.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, I think we've now come to the conclusion that WWE are racist. I think that's what it is at this point.
Yeah,
WWE are racist, and yeah,
they don't like Brits.
so
Don't like him at all.
Well,
Get him out.
nah.
Get Zeb Coulter to get the Brits out. You know.
Oh yeah, that actually I kind of want to see that. That would be quite funny. I have to say that would be quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnus
So-
should be TNA World Champion because he's British and British people know how to build a company from the ground up. You know,
Oh,
Magnus should
God.
be back as champion.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that Magnus is the first British heavyweight champion since like 1920s or whatever?
Is that true?
Yeah, I read somewhere that a British world champion, when Magnus won, it was the first time a British world wrestling champion, in terms of a big promotion like a TNA or a WWE, has ever won a world title since like 1930s, as far as I remember.
I was just thinking Sheamus, but I just realised he's Irish,
Yeah.
so he doesn't count.
Yeah.
William
Surprised
Regal
British
wasn't.
Bulldog wasn't in there. British Bulldog never won a
No.
world title. He should have won one.
Yeah, British Bulldog as well. Bad News Barrett. I can't see Adam Rose winning anything. Oh no, Adam Rose is in England,
no.
isn't he?
I think he's Australian, isn't he?
No, I think he's South African actually. I think he's South African.
Right, what am
Yeah.
I saying? Yeah.
So, yeah, that is shocking to me. I've completely forgotten the original question, by the way.
Oh, it was what was the original question? It was the top 5 divas in the
Okay.
in the
Well,
world.
we have meandered away from that somewhat. I apologise.
Yeah, and we like talking a lot, so so yeah, I guess we can call it off here. Anything you want to plug before we head off?
Yeah, sure. If you're listening, go follow me on Twitter at Oliver Norgrove. Oh god. Yeah, please like Pro Wrestling Powerhouse on Facebook. And yeah, and just want to say thank you for having me on again, Zach. And God save the Queen.
God save the Queen, of course. And thank you again for coming on. And for all the viewers watching right now, you can like me on Facebook as well. You can also follow me on Twitter at RozGibby. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner. Tweet to me. I answer a bunch of questions on Twitter. Follow me. Put up a bunch of memes, all that. You'll definitely like it. And also, too, probably going to have a SummerSlam predictions video up over the weekend. And we'll just see how it goes from there. And but yeah, thank you for tuning in for Friday Night Talkdown, and hope you all have a good day.